Hello.
Good evening.
Happy Sunday on this
Happy Sunday to
lovely.
you too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Happy Sunday.
Oh man,
It was
yeah.
a good
So
Sunday.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, it was all right. It was raining real hard a little while ago.
Really?
So yeah, really, yeah, it was really raining hard, like windy, very windy and stuff. But it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
It stopped now. The sun's all out, like that never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Everything evaporated.
Well, I know it's still a lot of wetness out there. Don't get me
Oh,
wrong,
okay.
but it's like I can still see like the wetness on the window screen and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
and should it even look like it's gonna probably even go for another round? That's just how just the feeling that I'm getting as I'm looking out the window.
Mm-hmm. It might come back. Spiral back.
Yeah, yeah. It's all
Yeah.
good. It's that time of the year anyway that we need that anyway. So going
Mm-hmm.
catch some good old quality water and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I've been sipping on the water all day.
Oh yeah, definitely got
It
to do
feels
that.
good.
Especially now we're getting closer
Liquid
to
oxygen.
summer. Oh yeah, liquid oxygen,
Summer.
liquefied oxygen.
Yes, I look forward to summer. This is a very nice prelude to summer.
Yeah, yeah. And the sun's been really strong lately. Like I went out last night, went to this like live impersonator show. They was basically impersonating, not impersonating, but they was singing like Frankie Beverly songs and Kim. I'm not really a fan of Kim, like him outside when he's himself. I never really got into his music, but the
Really?
guy that was singing his stuff, he could really sing. And
Uh-huh.
then the guy that was doing Frankie Beverly music could really sing too. So that's like, I guess they were like sounding like them too. They didn't quite look like them, but they wore like their little get ups, their signature clothes, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Above all, it was a good experience.
Okay.
So yeah, what you do this weekend?
I went to the carnival that was at the mall near my home, and then I went to sleep, and then I went nowhere and helped my kids build a robot, and then played frisbee outside, and then went to sleep. Sleep was very, very important. I was like, I gotta get me my sleep.
Oh
It was
man,
the
that's
highlight of my day was the sleep.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely sounds like
sleep.
you had a blast. I can
It
dig
was
it.
awesome. It was awesome. Truly
That's
thankful for the opportunity to nap,
oh yes.
to take a nap.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I didn't. It's like I did take a nap, but I don't know. I really wasn't napping, like 'cause I was
Mm-hmm.
watching some Netflix stuff, and yeah, I was just, I got up, I set my alarm, to get up at a certain time, and then I end up still laying back down. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm for good. I feel nice and refreshed still, as if I really did have a nap.
Okay,
So
that's
yeah.
good.
So man, we are at episode 34 of the Wine Fine Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Why is spine health important? And we're going to be having a special guest on from We Care underscore Cairo on IG is where you can find Azima's uh, chiropractor.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm
Awesome
really excited.
chiropractor.
Yeah,
I have not felt as good as I haven't felt this good in a long time.
uh,
I was in a lot of pain the past 2 years doing all the exercising videos and stuff like that, and I was like, this is not right. And I was like, let me go to a chiropractor this year, and I calmed down with my exercising. But yeah, I started going to a chiropractor earlier this year, and it really has been a blessing. I feel great. I could still be in pain, but I still feel good, so really appreciative of the work that has been done. Yes.
Yes. I
Hmm.
definitely know. Sometimes I been to a chiropractor and stuff, and it's very very healing to the body and stuff. So
Hmm.
in more ways than one. So
Yeah.
we love it. And here we are. We have our special guest from We Care Cairo. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Feel free to unmute your mic and just say hello to the stereo world. Thank you so much for those hearts there. Greatly appreciated. But
Hi.
before we get into
Maybe
our
you have
show,
to go into your
oh, go
settings.
ahead.
Yeah, there you go. External microphone, turn it
Love
Love
it.
it.
Ooh.
So yeah, before we get into our show's topic today, Azima, where can everyone find you?
Hi.
on.
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok as Azima the Only. That's Azima the Only. And you can find me also on Facebook and YouTube as Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. That's Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. And where can we find you, Jovani?
So yeah, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Camp Jogo Fit. That's KampJogofit. And yeah, you could also help us out by subscribing to our YouTube channel at the WINEFINE Podcast. That is WINEFINE Podcast. The list is definitely growing. The our videos in there are definitely growing. So definitely check them out. And thank you so much for
Yeah.
your support.
Yes, truly
And
appreciative.
Hey guys, do you hear
hey,
us?
Yeah, we
yes,
hear
I hear
you.
you now.
Okay. We were having a little trouble with our mic.
Hi, how are
Oh,
you?
okay.
Hi, hi, yes.
Hi. I'm
So
happy both of y'all are on.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Yes,
you.
absolutely. And if you want to take some time and give us your handles where everyone can find you, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, so on Instagram, we're at We Care Cairo. And Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, it's the same exact handle.
Okay,
Yay.
excellent.
So you
There
got
might be
some
an underscore here or there, but if you just search We Care Cairo,
It
it'll pop
should
up.
come up.
Okay, excellent, excellent. The same logo.
Yep.
Correct.
Excellent.
oh
Okay, great.
yeah.
And
Love
then our
it.
website is just wecare-cairo.com.
Okay.
Excellent. So yeah, let's get into this about why spine health is important today.
So I guess
Awesome.
we'll start off by your education. Like, how did y'all both start? Um, what got you into this, into chiropractic?
Okay, so that is a long story, but what essentially it boils down to is I was an EMT
Uh-huh.
and I had a 300-pound patient fall on top of me and I fell down the stairs. And I
Ouch.
severely hurt my back to the point where I was not working. I was, of course, all the doctors were giving me pain medications, opiates. It was causing a
Mm-hmm.
lot of anxiety, and it just put my life and my wife's life basically on pause for about 2 years. And nobody ever recommended going to a chiropractor. And it was at the point where I was like walking with a cane. They told me, hey, you're never going to be able to walk normally again unless you have fusion surgery in your back. And I was only 20 or 21 years old.
Oh
So I
my
knew
God.
better at that age, that surgery doesn't last.
Mm-hmm.
We both kind of really struggled through those 2 years.
Yeah.
Learning how to deal with it and how to manage anxiety, how to be mindful, how to be positive. Um,
And there was never, just to make it clear, he had a few disc herniations. There was never any like patient education. There was never any definitive outcomes. It was just, this is what your MRI says, and these are the medications you need. There were
Mm-hmm.
no like management or like, it was all just scare tactics pretty much. And we were kind of
Mm-hmm.
left on our own to figure some things out. But the one thing that he stuck to really was, I'm not having surgery.
Good,
Exactly.
good
Yeah.
stuff. Mm.
So
Yeah.
that pretty much saved him. And then eventually, after the 2 years, he decided, I can't do this for the rest of my life. We already had two little girls at the time, and he decided to go back to work. And then just by chance happened to work for a chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
We had never knew what a chiropractor was at that time. And
Like, I think she may even requested, like, not requested, said, hey, like, why don't you try out a chiropractor? And I was like, no, absolutely not. And I had no idea what they did.
I didn't even know what they did. I just happened to like pass by one, and I was like, "Oh, okay, you help with the back?" And they said, "Yeah." And but we still didn't even know what a chiropractor was.
Yeah.
But anyway, he
Mm-hmm.
started working for this chiropractor. This particular one didn't treat patients. He just went to court, right?
Yep. He went to court on behalf of patients for insurance
Mm-hmm.
companies, arguing, what is medically necessary and what is not medically necessary. And
Mm-hmm.
based on what his opinion was after reviewing the whole case of the patient, the insurance would take his recommendation whether they're going to approve a procedure or not. And that,
Mm-hmm.
at that point in time, that seemed like that's what I needed all along.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seemed like, hey, that's what I have to do. And
Okay.
yeah.
You
So
found
we
your
both
calling.
Yeah. At the time, I was also like, I always knew I wanted to help people, but I never knew exactly which route. And so this was like the perfect kind of storm, because he came to me and said, "Hey, I did some research. I think I want to be a chiropractor. And this looks like a really good school, but it's in St. Louis, Missouri." And I was like, okay, we had three little girls at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And we're both working, and so I was like, okay, I
We
guess we
live
can go
here in
see the
Brooklyn.
school. Yeah, the school had an incentive of like free hotel stay with a
Wow.
tour. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was like, sure, why not? We'll go on a little weekend trip. And then we toured Logan University. That's in St. Louis, Missouri. That's where we went to school. And during that tour, both of us it was like an aha moment. We both were like,
Yeah.
this is what we want to do.
And at the time, the main thing that drew me and then May to Logan really was the fact that their mission wasn't just to train chiropractors, but was to train chiropractors and get them integrated into hospital settings, into pain management clinic settings.
Mm.
Um, so you're there as part of a pain management team, and you're able to have the most impact before their case gets escalated and they have to have surgery.
Or
And
have
that's really,
opioids.
exactly,
Exactly.
and that's
Yeah.
really what drew
Okay.
me to it, especially
Mm.
after what we went through for the 2 or 3 years with the medications and
Yeah.
the back pain and
Wow.
everything.
That
Yeah.
is an amazing
Mm.
story.
It
I
really
feel like I
is.
just listened to a Lifetime movie.
Coming soon.
You know what? It's funny. Hearing that there was that injury, it made me think of the book by Joe Dispenza, "Evolve Your Brain." In there,
Mm-hmm.
he was on like it was a skiing accident where his spine was like totally shot, and it was basically saying the only way they could fix this was surgery, but he listened to his inner instincts and he never had surgery, but was able to gain, serious fluidity of his spine again and still be able to operate
Yeah.
despite what the doctor recommended. So,
Mm.
I'm happy to hear that story. I just love hearing this, how our minds can like truly like heal ourselves despite what
Absolutely.
most medical professionals say. So that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
This is not a recommendation to go against whatever anybody's
Yeah,
doctor
yeah,
says to them, but definitely get a second opinion, a third opinion.
Yes.
Ask different specialists and kind of get a wider view of what's going on, because no two specialists or no two
Right.
doctors are going to tell you the same thing. It's just the nature of pain. It's different for everybody, and you really have to be able to get that point of view from each person.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Most definitely.
Well, let me tell you about our experience.
I'm
Yeah.
Back
super
at
curious.
way back in the days, me and Jovani used to be roommates, and we were hanging out in the city in Manhattan, and we went to like one of those
Street fairs.
street fairs,
Mhm.
and they were passing out cards in reference to going to a chiropractor, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe we should do it, right? We were
Mhm.
young, right? So we went and we got out, we went and got our chiropractor experience, and he's cracking our neck, and we was like, oh yeah, oh, this feels good. And then the next morning, literally the next morning, we tried to get up out of our beds and we
Oh,
could not get up.
oh
We were so much
no.
pain. So it was a bad experience. We never went back.
Oh.
And why did that happen? Like why did it happen? That didn't make
Yeah.
any sense.
So
Felt like I
really,
got hit by a car.
yes. So really, we in our own practice, we are very upfront and vocal about like, hey, you're gonna be sore. You're gonna be sore. Put some ice on it. You're gonna be sore for the first treatment or two, because it's a totally different movement than your body's ever done. And especially
Hmm.
if you don't exercise, you're not active, and your
We didn't
neck's been
exercise at
stiff
that
for a
time.
really long time, that's
Hmm.
definitely it's gonna be a little sore. It shouldn't be severe pain. It shouldn't even be pain. It's just soreness, like you did a new exercise. And that's why we try on everybody's first visit to take it kind of easy. Like, people come in with like 10 million complaints from head to toe. And if we treat
Hmm.
every single one, then you're going to feel like you got hit by a car the next day. We
Yeah.
try to kind of
Oh gee
isolate it.
whiz.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
just like just going back to being an advocate for your own care, chiropractors are not exclusive of that, right? So anywhere you go, whether you go to a mechanic or a doctor, you should be looking at reviews. You should, be asking questions. You should be part of your care.
Yeah. And there
Yeah, we
Mm.
should be
definitely didn't ask
a
questions.
yeah. Yeah, there should definitely be a clear expectation, what you're expecting from this treatment, and what the chiropractor or the doctor expects from you. Um,
Hmm.
and it needs to be very clear what we're doing through our treatment, and what you can expect to feel and how long it's going to take.
Okay. All right.
It definitely
All
sounds
right.
clear to
But we're
So
glad that you didn't give up completely on.
Yes.
no, I'm way too active, so I have to.
Uh,
I had to give it a second chance. So it's like there's
Yeah.
got to be a way to get rid of this
yeah.
pain in my shoulder and my back. Yes. Okay. So one last question from me is just like, what are the most common back injuries that you know of? Like why is the back so easily injured in the first
So
place?
the back consists the spine itself consists of different parts, right? It's your neck, your
Hmm.
cervical spine, your thoracic spine. And when most people are referring to the back, they're talking about the lumbar spine or the
mm,
Okay.
tailbone area, which is your sacral spine. And why that is such an easily injured area, even though it's a huge area, it has a lot of support. It's very it's like big, it's not very fragile or anything, but all of the shock every time you take a step, every time you jump, every time you do anything, that force is transferred through your legs up into your lower back. So over
Mm.
time, that starts making your lower back vulnerable. And as time passes, your body tries to stabilize itself. And how it does this is through arthritis or degenerative disc disease. And that just kind of throws your spine off, and it takes a little bit more TLC to kind of be not in pain.
Yeah, and I will say, just to answer the first part of your question, is the most common type of low back pain is something called mechanical pain. And that accounts for over 90% or 95%.
Somewhere around there,
Yeah, 90 to 95% over that range in low back pain. And what mechanical pain is, just the gist of it, is just lack of motion, lack of movement, pain involving the spine, ligaments.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
nothing severe, no like neurological involvement.
And it's kind of like an umbrella term, right? That includes a couple of different structures in your low back.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody's heard of a disc herniation. A disc herniation is a type of mechanical low back pain. Everybody's heard of, I don't know if everybody's heard of it, but I've heard of it. An SI joint sprain. That's
Yes.
also a type of mechanical low back pain. Even just a muscle strain, a disc bulge. It just means that your pain can be made worse and better through movement.
Okay. On the same subject. So
Yeah.
basically what you're saying is most back pain is because of inactivity?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
What
Well,
we
some
are
of it.
saying, is that there is a tolerance in your spine for motion, right? So your spine has to
Mm-hmm.
be moving when you want it to move, the way you
Uh-huh.
want it to move, or else there's going to be pain. And whether that's the
Oh.
joints are kind of stuck, so it's not moving the right way, or whether your muscle's really tight, so it's restricting
Mm-hmm.
your spine from moving, but it's not inactivity or activity. I don't know the statistic. I don't know if you know the statistics
Is
off the top of your head,
oh,
but
no.
yeah,
I don't know the statistics, but I will say from practice, it's either lack of movement will cause pain or
Mm-hmm.
movement correctly will
yeah,
cause pain.
Wow. Okay, so
Mm.
you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
yeah. But pain from inactivity is a lot harder to treat than pain from activity. So if like
Okay.
you go to the gym and you do something a little bit off, um you're more likely, depending on of course the what's going on, you're more likely to get better faster than somebody who's just been sitting for 10 years.
Okay.
Mm.
We got a comment.
Yeah, let's grab this comment real quick from Chelsea.
Hi. So I'm curious, do you think that at some point everyone should see a chiropractor as part of general health care? Or is it only if you have a specific problem or a specific injury, or maybe you live a specific kind of lifestyle, like you're an athlete or you're doing something like very physically intensive on a regular basis? I'm just curious because, I'm really into wellness and health and open to trying a lot of things, like going to an acupuncturist or, getting a massage for more maybe medical reasons than just like.
Yeah,
Great
so
question.
Yes, thank you.
yeah. So we only recommend what we do for ourselves and our family, and
Mm.
which is obviously getting chiropractic treatment regularly. And this doesn't mean to be going like 4 times a week for the rest of your life or anything like that, but depending on your condition, and what's going on, what's bothering you, what goals you want to achieve, you should have some sort of maintenance schedule, because it's like taking care of your body. Even if you don't have pain, it's not really about the pain. The pain shows up all the way at the end. It's the last thing to show up and it's the first thing to go away.
Mm.
But really getting yourself aware of your spine, aware of your movements, aware of your habits, posture, that's really the whole point of chiropractic treatment.
Yeah, and we treat our kids and we see kids in our office as well. Most of the time, parents or even adults, they don't know exactly what's going on. They just know, like, hey, I feel off or something looks off. And we are trained to see that, and we're trained to assess that and treat it. So it's better to have, let's say you have no pain, you go in and a chiropractor says you're perfect, there's nothing wrong with you. Great. Go in once a month, every other month. Make sure that that is sustained and maintained. Don't wait until
You're in
you're
pain.
in pain, you know?
Okay. All
Hmm.
right. That sounds good. I'm
I love it.
happy to hear that you take care of the babies too.
Oh,
Yeah,
The little
I was one
absolutely.
of
youngins.
the babies getting on.
Yeah. Can you imagine? They're like, oh, I feel so much better.
Like
The
mommy,
babies love it. And you know, the
like mommy,
babies
help. Fine.
Mhm.
the babies love it, and they they feel better so much faster, and it's always a quicker, just like a quick little fix. They don't need much, but it makes a huge difference for them.
Mm.
And a
Okay.
lot
Yeah.
of the stuff with babies too is like education with parents on ways to handle gas, on ways to handle colic. You know, if
Mhm.
it's nursing on one side and doesn't want to nurse on the other side, or their latch isn't
Yeah.
good while they're breastfeeding, it's
Babies can
really
wreak havoc on the household, or they can
Oh
be
Mhm.
yeah.
happy and good, you know? So,
Wow.
That's
All right.
yeah.
You know, I never thought that a baby's colic and latching and all that stuff would have to do anything with you know, taking care of the spine as well. But it's so crazy how those little things can affect a a personality or somebody's way
absolutely.
of life, you know?
Absolutely. Our
So
second baby, we weren't educated in this at all.
this is before we became
Yeah, and
chiropractors.
okay.
she was up all night, screaming all night, and I just said she's a bad baby.
Mhm.
And then
She's still a little bad.
now
She's 11 now, but
now comparing to Summer, our fourth baby, our last baby,
Mhm.
we're just like, wow, she's such a good baby. But it's really just that we're more educated. We know
yeah,
what to look out for and how to fix certain things. So
Mhm.
Wow, that's beautiful. I love that.
yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
But just to
Okay.
recap for her question, if you're an athlete, you should definitely be seeing a chiropractor. If
Definitely.
Hmm.
if you do any type of activity, if you work with your body, you should 100% be seeing a chiropractor.
pretty much if you're
Yeah,
breathing, you should.
yeah, to be honest, yeah.
You got air in your lungs, go to a chiropractor.
Mhm.
Okay,
So,
cool, cool.
but yeah, so okay, so some years ago I went to a Afro Haitian dance class, and this is how I came across this information about continuing movement with Emily Conrad. Now, Emily Conrad is no longer with us in physical form, but however,
Mhm.
her continuing movement legacy is still living because, mind you, I've just heard about this, a couple years ago, and I think when I've just heard about her, I became more interested in movement of the spine and how, the spine can just really just help our health, especially when it's in a good, condition and everything. And I like how you both were mentioning about, the importance of movement and everything. And I kind of just wanted to like play a clip from one of Emily's conversations about the fluid system and how uh how it can be beneficial and everything. And I kind of just wanted to get your guys insight on what she's saying. Now, she's not a chiropractor. She was like a dancer, and I just want to kind of get your guys opinion on the things that she's mentioning in here.
Is this continuum movement?
Yes, continuing
Okay.
movement. Yeah, are you guys
Yeah,
familiar
sure.
with that?
We're not. I'm not familiar, but I looked it up and I went through their stuff a little bit. But we can definitely
We
listen.
haven't honestly heard of continuum movement in the
Okay.
past.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm
Well,
excited to hear the clip.
okay. Oh yeah, great. It's a short clip, so yeah, let's go ahead and play it right now. People often ask, well, what do you mean by the fluid system? And so I have to say, well, it begins with your cerebrospinal fluid, blood, all of the fluid in your connective tissue.
all of the fluid in your membranes, the fluid in your brain, the fluid in your viscera, all the fluids of the body are basically become a fluid system, meaning that it's the fundamental resonance of the whole organism in relation to, again, how it's linked to the environment and linked to the galaxy. The fluid is, as far as I can see and as far as I know at this point, is the most resonant of elements, meaning that it is not bound by any form. So that the fluid, all of the fluid of our bodies, which is 70% or more, the fluid of our planet, fluid of the galaxy, it functions as one resonant whole, and that it is an organ of intelligence. It is probably the most important factor in our own humanness is the activation of our fluid.
All right. Well, I can also when we post this on YouTube, I'll also include like the other links just in case somebody wants to like take a look at it. But you know,
Okay.
what are kind of your
That's awesome.
thoughts on what she's mentioning about like the fluid system and
Yeah.
how all the different, you know, fluids in our body kind of like work together, you know, to kind of create that movement? What are your thoughts on that?
So, in a more general perspective, really anything that can align your mind with your spine and your body and with
Mm,
what's going on around you, for you to be more
mm-hmm,
mindful and be more aware of just everything and kind of
mm-hmm,
take that into account and put it towards the bigger picture, which is your health. I think that's a great thing. And I know that the fluid system is one of the theories out there, but I personally don't have any specific experience with it. So I'm not going to um, really give any detailed advice for it or against it. But it sounds like a great way to kind of really bring awareness to your mind, your body, and your environment. And that's really what holistic healthcare is.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's chiropractic treatment, whether it's acupuncture, whether it's like a nutritionist or a naturopathic doctor, that's really what we all strive to do. Is we find a way to explain how your mind affects your body and how your environment also affects all that, and really aligning all that together is the key to really long-term health and happiness and inner peace. Now,
mm-hmm.
looking at her website, I saw that her logo
Gonna
was actually an octopus, and she has an octopus necklace, which to me, she
bring.
seems like a good person. She definitely
Okay,
does.
listen. I was just thinking about that because I was like, you know, you guys do cupping on my back.
Ooh,
And
Yeah.
every time,
cupping.
yes, and every time I go to work, you know, or they see the cupping on my back and my biceps, and it was like, did you get attacked by a octopus or a squid or something? I'm like, no, I went to the chiropractor. But
Yeah.
that's every time I come in with a fresh cupping. That's what they ask me if I got
Oh
attacked
And
by
then
man.
she just some background info. She wins some points with him because he's like the octopus whisperer. That's his other
Yes. So
his
that
other
uh-huh.
life.
Ah.
His
Okay.
the
The
reef
spirit
doc
animal.
on social media. He's pretty famous on there.
um
Okay, cool.
yeah, so I rescue and keep pet octopuses, and I tell the
Yes.
world
Oh yeah, you guys have an
how cool
octopus
they
in your
are.
fish tank.
We do,
Yes, we
yep.
Yeah, I
do.
noticed
Oh,
that. Yes. Oh,
that's
But
so
interesting.
and
awesome.
yeah, I agree with him. You know, I don't have a lot of information about this, but for me, I always say movement is key. As long as you're moving correctly, that's all I care about, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um you want those joints to be moving, you want everything to be moving, and you know, she's approaching it in more of looking at the fluid in our body, and that's totally fine too.
Yeah, because like she could be doing the same thing we're doing, but she's looking at it
Focusing
on
on.
the fluid, you
Yeah.
know, and we're focusing on the movement, and somebody else is focusing on your chi or
Your chakra.
your chakra.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's really, again, it's all the same, it's all different words to explain really the same thing, which is like a holistic perspective. And I know you mentioned the cups, and what the cups do is they actually draw blood into tight muscles, so that's kind of moving the fluid around as well. um,
Mm-hmm.
but both of us personally believe you really can't affect one thing without affecting everything else. So no matter what you choose
Yes.
to focus on, you're gonna have an effect as long as you're
There's no
taking
spot
in.
treatment. It
Exactly.
affects everything.
And you know what's funny? I've seen cupping for like some years now. I just couldn't get past like the red circles and everything on your
Get past
back.
it.
So it was like, I'm grateful that my friend Azima, that you have done that, because now I am interested in just looking past those red marks, because I'm just like, I,
Yeah,
I want to
It's a,
do it.
it's a badge of honor.
it
It
Yeah.
is.
is.
It only lasts a few days.
And it doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah, some people think that the red marks means you're in pain in those
No.
areas, and that's not the case at all.
Mm-mm.
Okay. My biggest, the pain, that's no issue. If there was some, the biggest thing for me was the marks, because yeah, it's really
Okay.
Yeah,
gonna show up
no,
on
like
me.
some
So.
people are patient, or we have dancers that are like, they have a dance competition the next day, like no cupping today, because they don't
Mm-hmm.
want to, they want to have the marks, and that's totally fine.
But it only lasts a
Mm,
few.
Yeah.
about three
It's pretty cool.
days.
Yeah, and some people don't even get the marks at all, so it just
Okay.
depends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
mine's
intrigued.
fade pretty quickly. Yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I'm gonna go for it.
Okay,
Let's
cool.
grab this comment real quick. Chelsea.
Um, does seeing a chiropractor help with lymphatic drainage or maybe that aspect of fluids? I'm just trying to see a connection.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like if somebody has an so okay, so not to get off topic, but if somebody has a specific issue with lymphatic drainage, like they have sinus issues, they like kids with ear infections, just anything related to lymphatic drainage, there's specific techniques that we do to ensure that we're mobilizing that whole system so everything is draining correctly. And we do work on the sinuses as well, and you can
Mm-hmm.
actually feel them drain as we're working on them. um, so
Yeah.
yeah, and adjustments of the upper neck, they totally affect all
It
the
does.
Yeah.
ears, sinuses, 100%.
Yeah, I've
Mm,
noticed when you crack my neck, my sinus, it's like a pressure is released.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's one of the things I look forward to and why I don't deny you doing it anymore.
I
I'm
used
like,
to have
I'm
to
not
trick
ready
you.
for it. Don't tell me when you're doing it. Don't tell me now. I'm like, when is it gonna happen? And then I feel it, and I'm like, awesome, I can breathe again. Yeah,
you know,
it's
I
been a
this is
tough couple of days in New York, with
Yeah, it
this
has.
Yeah.
Canada smoke and everything like that. So it's very helpful.
oh yeah. You know what I do? This is kind of not really off subject, but I like how chiropractors, they can like soothe you and talk about like something else, and then all of a sudden just snap,
Yeah,
and you're like, oh,
we're very good at that.
Wake
I
up,
said,
uh,
distract me, please,
Yeah.
love
please
it.
distract me.
But yeah, you got to distract me. So let me ask you this: Does old just does stiffness come with age? Like, is that something that just has to happen as you get older? Stiffness.
So I hate to say that it's related to age. I will say that everyone's going to get arthritis. That's just something you can't avoid, and it's not reversible. Okay. But
Mm.
as far as being stiff or stiffness, if you are continuing that movement, then you will be better off. I have seen like 80-year-old patients who are doing yoga, who've done yoga their whole life, have seen a chiropractor their whole life, and they're moving way better than like a 20-year-old patient who really doesn't do much of anything. So it's not, it doesn't, age doesn't equal stiffness. It's really lack of movement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, you
All
shouldn't
Yeah.
really
right.
be stiff.
Yeah.
Because I know I love to see elderly people that are still doing things that like unheard of.
Oh,
Yeah.
Even
yeah.
with that age, I just love it. So that's like my inspiration. I mean, my goal is to be a centenarian. So yeah, I know that I would still have to continue that movement and everything to get there. So yeah, just thank you for
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking
What
about Dick Van Dyke and how he's just hopping all over the place and he's like 90 something years old. Like, come on. He's still dancing to today.
That takes work from years of work. It's not
Mhm.
I'm 80 and now what can I do because I'm
Yeah.
really stiff. What can I do now? It's like, well,
It's
we
a
can
little
do
too
some
late,
things,
I'm
but
sure.
yeah, we can do some things, but it's not going to be like,
Immediate.
yeah.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be, yeah. Um, yeah,
But I
because
like that
really,
question.
really, you getting stiff or getting arthritis again is just your body trying to stabilize years and years of movement and pressure and shock waves going throughout your spine. Um,
Mhm.
so the way it does that sometimes results in stiffness, but it really shouldn't be a consistent thing at all.
Okay.
Mm. I
We
love
got a
that.
comment.
Yes, let's grab this comment from Sonia. Welcome.
Hi, Sonia.
Good evening, bonsoir. It's your girl Sonia. Hello to everyone on the panel. So my question is, like every now and then I do take like fish oil, like the omega. So does that help? Which I know it does, but you guys sound like you're like 100% like experts. But yeah. So yeah, fish oil.
So
Thank you, Sonia, for
thank you
that
for the
question.
question. Fish oil, as with any supplement, right? It depends on why you're taking. Are you taking it because you're deficient in something, or are you taking it to achieve something else? And fish oil has a lot of actual uses, whether it's through us or even your medical doctor. They actually use it as a blood thinner. They
Really?
use it, yeah, they
Mm.
use it for blood pressure. They use it for all sorts of things. So it definitely has benefits, but you really gotta understand why you're taking it. I'm not
I've
a
always
fan of.
heard about fish oil helping with joint health or like more, joint movement. I didn't know it did all the other stuff that you just said.
Yeah.
You
Um,
really have to look at, and this is what, this is how we like to practice, is we like to look at everything as a whole. So
Mm-hmm.
like, if you're the most important thing is that you're eating well and you're eating full, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leaving out any kind of nutritional groups, and you're also not,
eating too much of
eating.
one thing.
Yeah. So like for some, if I have a patient who says they religiously take fish oil, but they're eating McDonald's every day, then we have to look at that, and not so much the fish oil is probably not doing much for them.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
fish oil is really good for your health overall, but we're huge believers in like simplifying everything and just,
Taking a global approach.
yeah, just look at what you're eating, make sure you're eating healthy. Specifically for joint health, we recommend chondroitin sulfate. It's a supplement you
Mm.
can get anywhere right now, and that one is really good for joint health.
Yeah.
And then
Enjoy and
for
sulfate.
inflammation, yeah, chondroitin sulfate.
Yeah.
All right.
And we
I'm
definitely
writing that down right
recommend
now.
Yeah, me too.
one very, very, um, two very good supplements that everybody should be taking is vitamin D, because everybody is deficient in it. And The amount
Especially
of
New Yorkers.
yes, and the amount of studies that have come out in the past 3 years alone have covered everything from vitamin D being involved in you getting COVID, you beating COVID, just a
Just
lot of
overall,
different processes that your body needs. So you definitely need to be taking some sort of vitamin D.
yeah,
And turmeric is also a very, very good
Mm.
general
anti-inflammatory.
anti-inflammatory.
Yeah. And then turmeric is a good one for not only supplementation, like taking it in pill form, but you cook with turmeric. And then some of our patients, we even recommend them to make it into a paste and just rub it on their joints if their joints are achy, like our older patient population.
Really, on the outside of your joints, like
Yep.
on your
Yep.
elbow, if you. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. We always consider when talking about supplements or joint health, inflammation is the biggest
Yeah.
conversation we like to have because
Mm-hmm.
we eat so many things and consume so many things that are pro-inflammatory, and that just feeds into the stiffness, the pain, the achiness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm. I know
Wow.
I'm definitely an advocate for some turmeric. I consume it in so many ways. I'll make a tea
Perfect.
out of
That's
it.
Yeah.
great.
I'll juice it. I'll, put it in food.
Yeah.
Like it's like salt and pepper. That just goes with everything.
Yes,
That's
it
awesome.
does.
That's great.
Yeah, I put it in my teas. Okay, we
Woo!
got 4
We
comments.
can
Let's get these
let's grab some
comments.
comments like, real quick.
So, my mom is in her late 70s, and right now she's seeing a physical therapist for her lower back, and it's really helping her. She likes it, but would you also recommend someone in that age range going to see a chiropractor?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can't really comment on the specifics of your mom without knowing her condition, without examining her. We really don't know what she has, but in most cases, physical therapy, chiropractic care, acupuncture, massage, the more of it that you do,
Together.
the better outcomes you have. That's
Yeah.
what all the research shows. It shows anytime you're in pain, if you attack it from multiple directions, like we do in our office, like we have
Mm-hmm.
massage, we have a pain management doctor that comes in that gives like all natural trigger point injections, and medications if needed. That is the best way to deal with pain. Um, any type of doctor or healthcare professional that says they are the end all be all and
Leave.
you only need to see
Yeah.
them, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
person is just full of themselves and is not going to really help you long term, especially if you don't fit into the mold of the 50% of their patients that do get better. You're not going to
Mm-hmm.
get better, and they're really not going to do anything for you.
Yeah. So basically, you're saying that we need all levels of pain management to tackle and jump pain.
Exactly.
Just fight it off. I got you.
Yeah.
Variety. I'm definitely with
Okay.
it. I haven't had acupuncture in a while, but I know I'm due for some.
Okay.
So I'm due for all of that actually.
That all sounds good.
Let's
All right.
grab one more comment here. Let's see.
I've heard that collagen supplements and MSM are also very good for kind of like joint health and mobility.
Well, yeah, and chondroitin sulfate is kind of like that.
Okay.
But chondroitin sulfate is actually in your joints already, and it's the substance that's implicated in actual arthritis. Is you start losing a lot of that. So adding it in sometimes helps, sometimes doesn't. But collagen will also do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
MSM, I'm not really familiar with. Did you mean multi collagen peptides?
I don't know.
If that's the case, then yeah, they're basically all on the same spectrum.
Multi collagen peptides.
All right. Yeah, write it down. So let's see. Sonia had basically it looks like Sonia had a question about vitamin D and inflammation, but then you also answer her question. So I won't play those comments because we kind of touched
Yeah.
on that already.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
we have about 10 minutes. Wow. It's amazing how time flies when you're having fun and really getting some good information here. So just real quick, what is the hardest back injury to fix?
The hardest back injury to fix.
Yes.
For me, it's the back injury that you've had for a really long time. You've already did something permanent to your body, like had a spinal fusion,
Mm.
Mm.
uh,
You had the
or some
surgery.
type of
Okay.
surgery.
Mhm.
And then you're coming to me as your last resort. I'm not your last resort at that point. I can help you manage the pain, but realistically, those types of patients are very hard to treat. Just the factor of chronicity, just being in chronic pain, it changes the
Mhm.
pathway of the mind. It changes the way you perceive your entire world. So,
Wow.
kind of unraveling all that is very, very hard to do. So, anytime you're in pain or not in pain, or start at the least invasive treatment options, which is a chiropractor, physical therapy, acupuncture, and then work your way up.
Mm.
Yeah. My most difficult, I mean, I guess this is a subjective question because um, objectively, what's the most difficult back pain to fix is really, I don't know if anybody can answer that, but for me, it's really the psychological back pain, the back pain that is present, but
Mhm.
that the patient went through multiple different providers who catastrophized their condition, and they think they're broken and that they can never get better. That patient to me is the most difficult because, no matter what I say to them and no matter how much I know things are helping, they're going to come back in a few days and say, you know, something that I wasn't expecting because of their history, and what they were kind of taught to think.
So basically, the mental trauma is what
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah, you got to get that
fix.
out your mind. Ooh
Yeah.
wee.
Okay.
I mean, we
Jeez.
try. We try everything, and sometimes it works,
Yeah.
but
Uh huh.
yeah.
There are
Yeah.
even studies that show that once a patient gets an MRI, so an MRI is a very useful tool, but it's
Mm.
useful in specific instances, right? And if I take an MRI on 100 people, I guarantee you those 100 people, they're going to have something. But is that something causing their pain? Probably not. Um, and really, just there's something about seeing an image of your spine and seeing a bulge or arthritis, and it just ruins your whole mind's ability to kind of
See past it.
tolerate pain, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I seen a MRI and an X-ray, well, X-ray and an MRI on my spine like some years ago, and the chiropractor made a joke, was like, "Oh, look at your spine, you old lady." So it was,
Yeah,
it was
no.
cool. But ever since then, I was really just focusing on, okay, like that. After that, that's when I came across Emily Conrad. I'm like, okay, we're gonna
Yeah.
see what we can do with this and eat properly and everything. So I could
Yeah.
kind of like not have that issue. But just real one, this last question here, and then we'll grab the comment that we have. So just overall, in a nutshell, what would you say is the best recommendations for your spine health, just for people to
I,
take away from today?
simple movement.
Movement,
Yeah.
absolutely movement.
Mm.
And some, like, you have to be able to recognize good pain versus harmful pain, right? So if you're working out, if you're exercising, and you're really feeling the burn in your muscles, you're kind of feeling the muscles stretch, that's good.
Mhm.
Keep going. But if you're having severe pain, or you're passing out, or you're getting a shock throughout your whole arm or down your leg,
That's bad pain.
that's bad pain, and you stop. um, but really educated movement, and that could be as simple as taking a walk
Yeah.
you know
Mhm. Yes,
or
yes.
ride a bike, or so movement.
Okay.
Movement.
That's excellent.
All
That's
right, so
excellent.
let's go ahead.
I love the good pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that good pain is wonderful. I would
Yes.
definitely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and grab this comment from Chelsea here.
I had to look this up. MSM is methanol sulfony methane.
Okay.
I really don't have any specific recommendations for that, because I quite honestly would have to do a little bit more research on it.
Ah,
But in terms of joint health, collagens are good, and the chondroitin sulfate. And if you add to that an anti-inflammatory diet or vitamin D and turmeric, you should be good to go.
okay, cool.
Man, this is great to know that I'm like already on a great path here with the recommendation. Yeah, the only thing I don't have in the
Yeah, I'm
arsenal
pretty
is that
excited.
that chondroitin. So
And I
got
don't know how to
everything else.
spell it.
C
Send
H.
me the spelling.
I'll spell
Oh,
it for you.
CH.
CHONDROITIN. Chondroitin sulfate. Sometimes they
Not even
market it
close.
as sometimes they call it glucosamine sulfate. It's the same thing. G
Glucosamine.
GLUCOSAMINE.
I got that
Oh, I
right.
love this.
Yeah.
Yay. Oh, I can't wait to get some of this. Oh man.
All right, cool,
So
cool.
man, loving the hearts, man. So we got 3 more minutes left. We got some great information here. We have a great show today. I'm really excited that you guys were able to take the time out your schedule and give us these awesome recommendations with, your education and the reasons why you got into this field. Um, so just
We
real quick,
appreciate you having
Having
us.
us.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Anytime. Hopefully we could maybe in the future have you again so we could probably get into more about, the anti-inflammatory diet you mentioned.
Yeah,
But
Definitely.
absolutely.
yeah, that'll be a good thing. So just again, where can everyone find you?
So our website is wecare-chiro.com. And then if you just search We Care Chiro on any social media, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube, am I missing anything? Facebook,
Facebook,
you'll find us there.
yeah. And if you
Okay.
guys like
Excellent.
octopuses, check out the Reef Doc.
Yeah.
I just had to mention that.
Okay, cool. All right.
Oh,
You can find me on Instagram and YouTube, Instagram and TikTok as Azima the Only. That's AZIMA the Only, and you can find me on YouTube and Facebook as OZD Wellness and Fitness. It's OZIDI Wellness and Fitness. And where can we find you, Jovani?
so yeah, that's on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Camp Jogo Fit. That's KampJogofit. And also, everyone remember to show some love to our YouTube channel of the Wine Fine Podcast, so you can see older episodes. Well, hear older episodes rather, because you don't see our faces. But
Nope.
and then we'll also be uploading this wonderful episode here on why spine health is important, episode 34. I can't wait to post so we get that up there.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you so
Oh
much for
yeah.
stopping by, all of you. I'm
Yeah.
truly
Thank you
appreciative.
so
We
much
are.
for having us. This was a great conversation.
Thank
Yeah.
Indeed,
you.
yes.
Thank you for
That's
the
what it's
awesome
all about.
questions.
All right.
Thank
It
you.
was
Thank
good,
you. Thank
guys. Thanks for stopping
you.
by. Have a
So
wonderful
have a
night.
happy Sunday. Enjoy your week, and we'll be here again next week. Same time, same place, y'all. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.